All right, I think we are ready to start the show. Green, do I have you?
Yeah.
Rev, do I have you?
As long as you want me.
Oh, baby boo. Don't you threaten me with a good time. All right. Hello and welcome to Next to Nothing, a show for gamers on a budget. I'm your host, Danny K. With me, as always, my partner in crime, who uses the red eyes way too fucking much. It's Mr. Green Elite. How you doing, Green?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Well, yeah, as good as I could be.
Yeah.
With last night or yesterday, my basement completely flooded, and the only portion of the basement that was actually affected was my streaming setup, in my
Oof.
desk area, because the drain is literally 5 feet away, and apparently it slopes enough to go to this general direction. So, but yeah, I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I hurt
Yeah.
inside.
Dude, that sucks. Yeah, I saw you post that in Discord yesterday, and I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
and
good.
I was saying that night I was supposed to be doing the Apex event with Donnelly because Donnelly won't be. He is shipping out on the 27th
Mm-hmm.
as well. If you haven't heard about that, so
Yeah.
good friend of mine is being deployed. Good luck for him. Hopefully he comes back in a one piece. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Just don't play fair, K9.
Yeah. And while we're talking about, I mean, I have a cousin who actually just got shipped over to Korea, and his base in Korea was close enough they could see and hear North Korea blow up that embassy. He's like, oh boy, these helicopters I'm wrenching on might be getting used soon. Ooh. With us is our other co-host, Revsfen. Revsfen, how you doing, Padre?
I'm doing all right. I just ate a lot of soup, let out a fat burp, and I'm ready to go.
It was a very fat burp. It was very fat. So, starting out the show here, of course, just a shout out to all of our YouTube viewers here. I'm going to try to start giving you guys some things to talk about here in the comments of YouTube if you do watch us on YouTube. And this week, I want to ask you guys, what is your most hyped announcement from EA Play 2020? So go on ahead in the comments and let us know what you guys think of EA Play 2020 and what game you're most excited for that was announced there. Of course, if you guys are new to the show, welcome to the show. We appreciate you guys for joining us either live or clicking on that YouTube link or finding us on all the podcast platforms. The click and the attention is really appreciated, and we hope you guys get some enjoyment out of the show and get some value out of the show. That's what we're here to do for you. If you guys do end up liking what we do and find some value, some ways you guys can help support the show is by subscribing on the platform of your choice. If you're on YouTube, hit that like button and ring that bell as well. And yeah, let's just get on into it. Do we want to talk about a game that you played, Rev? That we both played.
Yeah, let's get into it. This is going to be a very suggestive section of our talk today.
Yes, very suggestive.
Rawmen. Rawmen. Oh, it was so much fun too.
It is. It is a really. It's a fun romp.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited for the full game to come out. Because it was fun playing on the one map during the demo and everything. And it's cool that the demo's free and you get to do all that. But I am so excited for the full release because I just had so much fun with this game, launching cock sauce and flinging broth at each other. It was just like it was a silly little Splatoon-esque type game, and whenever you're sitting there yelling at each other and all these suggestive things are being said and done, it's always going to be a good time. Always.
Yeah. So, like, a real quick description of the game is it is like Rev said, it's kind of like a Splatoon-esque third-person shooter. It's like Splatoon with a bit of spice, and it is what I would consider a salt generator.
Yes.
It's developed by Animal and published by Tiny Build. It's going to be available on the Switch, PS4, Xbox One, and Windows. So minimum specs for anyone that is interested: for a processor, SSE2 instruction set support. I've never seen that on a game, so do with that what you will. 8 gigabytes of RAM, graphics card with DX11 shader model, 3.0 capabilities, DirectX 11, and 4 gigs of hard drive space. So it can run on a variety of machines, it seems.
Yeah, it looks like you could run it on the hot potato that you throw back and forth in the game.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, and I had like no problems running the game whatsoever. I mean, the game runs really smooth.
Same. Yeah, it ran really smooth. The game modes themselves were hysterically fun. I feel like there's some spawn point issues in the meatball thing, but maybe that's just because I'm salty for losing. Um, but like that's another cool thing. Like even though it's just a demo, you've got 3 basic game modes plus the team version of those same 3 game modes to choose from, which you have your stereotypical team deathmatch style game. Then you have an objective game, and then you have the meatball game, which is what I would compare it to like capture the flag, but with a gigantic meatball. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's kind of capture the flag. It's or more
But with
like,
random spawn points for the capturing. Like you don't have your own flags. It's like,
yeah, you fight over the flag.
yeah, it's almost like as if it's like the capture the flag with the flag in the middle of the field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Is what it kind of felt like.
yeah, the flag is neutral, and so you have I know Call of Duty Advanced Warfare had a mode similar to it. I'm trying to think of like some other games that have had similar modes, but yeah, it's like a neutral flag that both teams fight over and then have to take to a designated point that's on the map. And in both the spawn point and the designated point change.
Yes. Yeah, they'll rotate around, and like it'll even rotate around like mid game because there were several times where one of us would be sitting there taking the meatball to the spot, and the spot would disappear and respawn somewhere else. You're like, no. And of course,
Yeah.
you kill somebody while they're on it, you can jump on and take it from there. But the weapon variety was probably my favorite though. Like my favorite aspect of the whole game was like, I mean, you're smacking each other with fish, you're throwing dim sum at each other. I mean, it had everything.
The game
It
is
had everything you could
really
ask.
punny.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and there's like hot potato bomb that like you can toss back and forth to each other.
Mhm.
There's a Gatling gun that is, or not Gatling gun, a mini gun with like bratwursts. With like what was that? Was that the
Bratling gun.
Bratling gun? Yeah. Or
The
Bratling
shitty
gun.
saltine crackers that you used as a shield, like as a
Yeah.
little barrier that you could put up. It, and then like your ammo was actually like the broth in your pot that you carry around.
Mm-hmm.
So like you're sitting there and it would it would auto generate, but like so if you're sitting there flinging your broth like over and over and over, and you end up running out, you have to like essentially run away while it kind of refills itself.
Yeah.
And I was the king of the untitled goose turret. They were spawning everywhere for me.
Yeah, I do not understand how you were getting that all the goddamn time. That was incredibly frustrating. And yeah, that's just like a goose that would just like shoot eggs at your enemies. And it was incredibly fucking annoying.
Yeah,
Um
it's like the OP weapon of the game right now. Please nerf.
please nerf. Yeah, no, I mean overall it's a really fun punny game. Um I'm kind of curious what its lifespan is going to be.
Yeah.
Because I obviously just played the demo, so the one map and a few game modes. It looked like you could have up to 8 people in a game, teams of 4. Am I correct in that?
Yes. Yeah, you could have up to 8. We had 4 on when we played, and we did a lot of the free for all stuff, which was
Mm-hmm.
a lot of fun. But the team mode was pretty fun too. I'm with you. I'm interested in seeing the lifespan, like if they can add new game modes later, or add new maps, or give you some cosmetics you can earn throughout playing. Do not do loot boxes, even though you do have a loot drop, the loot drop weapon in there. So I would say that will be probably the make or break on the lifespan of this game, and we'll have to see where they go price range when it releases versus continuity with the extra content later.
Yeah, and kind of being like a Splatoon or like a a third person shooter like this. I'm kind of curious if there's any sort of like event or tournament or competitive. I don't know if this would necessarily be a competitive game, but it definitely seems like
a competitive mode.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd be interested to see if they're like if people build events around this game. Because I don't know if I would necessarily want to play this like pugs and whatever else. This seems like, to me, it's like, okay, Rev, Green, Viva, let's fucking load it. Let's do it.
I think it's gonna be a great community night style game when you get like you and your friends get together and just kind of be goofy, all in the same voice chat and all that. I think that's gonna be kind of like the baseline audience for this. Yeah, I would say that would be probably the route that's gonna end up going.
Yeah. What about you, Green? What do you think?
I think the funnest thing while watching y'all play this game was the voiceovers. It was very reminiscent of Towley from South Park. Like, you're a towel. It was phenomenal. The whole time I was watching that stream, I was busting up laughing. Just the way that the animation it looked fantastic. Like the gameplay, like how they use the weapons and stuff. And then just a cherry on top with that voice was just set me off that whole time. I don't know if I could even play it. Like, I would be laughing hysterically the whole time.
I don't know about you, but like it made it even funnier that it censored out the cussing. Like it would bleep out the cuss words, and that to me was funnier than if they would just let him say it.
I loved the voice too. That was the quintessential funny that game. Like, the visual part wouldn't have been as funny if it weren't for that voice. I think that just topped it all off. It was comedy. Loved it.
Yeah, the game actually is really cohesive. Like the art style to the game mode to how things feel to the sound design, like it all feels really cohesive and well thought out and put together. Like it doesn't feel like anything here was hobbled and taken from an asset store, and we're going to get this sound effect from freesounds.org and we're going to get this from here. Like it doesn't feel like that. It all feels like it's been designed with every other element in part, which is really cool for a game like this, because sometimes games like this that are really silly and really goofy, they just kind of hobble together, and it's kind of put together with glue and duct tape and bubblegum.
From what I've gathered, the main voice that you hear, like the little voice you just kind of hear doing the funny stuff, is Smashly. She's a Twitch partner. She was involved in the development of the game, and so she actually did all the voiceover stuff with that goofy Towley voice herself.
That's hilarious.
That's what I was informed of. I know she was involved in the game. I don't know if it was exactly that, but that's what somebody was telling me.
Smashly, if you see this, confirm or deny. Confirm or deny. And I don't want no Glomar bullshit, right? No, we at this time we can neither confirm or no. Don't you Glomar me. Smashly, let us know.
Like, yeah, I was that Tally sound alike. Do it. Just let me know. I gotta know.
Fucking own it. Yeah, the demo is free. I didn't see what the game was gonna retail for on release. Did you, Rev?
No, I don't know. I don't know exactly what it's going to retail at, and I don't know when the exact release date is either. I'm hoping to get that information real soon, so that way we can pass that along because I would like to have more people to play this
Mhm.
game with.
So I guess since we don't know, um, what would you personally put down for this?
If there's a good selection of maps that come along with the initial release, I would say upwards of and no more than 19.99, and then probably release it on sale, so it's like 14.99.
Okay. How about you, Green? What would you be willing to spend on this game?
I'd spend $24.99 on it.
Okay. Okay.
Middle of the road, not quite AAA, but like I feel like $25 for the amount of laps that I had just watching it would be reasonable.
Okay.
Let alone playing it. Let alone playing it. Like if I played it, I'm sure I would die the next day because I would give myself so much like chest, like my muscles would hurt so much that it would just like tighten my chest cavity and just kill off my breathing. I would just die because I'd be laughing so hard.
Man, I'm just kind of thinking about like the abs, just laughing that much and like just getting a 6 pack of abs off of that. Oh yeah.
I'm with it.
um, cool. Anything else on Rawmen?
No, I mean with it being a demo, I think we covered pretty much all the bases on it.
Yeah, I don't think there's much else we could really say on it right now. Oh, I guess I should say, I'd probably put, I would say probably about $20. I'd be willing to spend $20 on this. Um, if they made a bunch of other improvements, like there's like 20 maps and like another 5 game modes, then yeah, $25. But with the game modes and like another handful of maps, I'd probably be willing to pay $20. So, Rav, you also played another game that
Yes, I did. I
yeah.
That game scared me, dude. Okay, like I'm reliving it. You shut up, Green. I see you over there.
Hey, real quick before Green laughs himself too hard here, where's the video from your stream, bud? From when you played the demo of Locked Up.
Yeah, yeah. You went.
I am working on it. I'm sorry. I'm having some issues. Like I downloaded the highlight from it, and I can't seem to I couldn't put it over to Hit Film, and I couldn't put it over to Premiere. I don't know why. I'm trying to get it on YouTube. I hate it. I hate the game. I hate horror, and honestly, I probably don't even want to put it out there because I hate it so much. I'm gonna have flashbacks just editing this fucking video. Shut up, Danny.
um, if you want, you can just take the highlight and export it right to YouTube. You don't need to edit it. You could just do that. Anyways, so yeah, the game we're talking about.
Practice.
What's that?
I need to practice editing.
Valid.
Fair. That's fair.
So the game we're talking about, Beautiful Paper Smile. Rev,
Yes.
Padre, tell us about it.
Okay, so I actually I met I met the publisher and developer of My Beautiful Paper Smile at DreamHack Anaheim and got a look at the aesthetic of it. And that alone had me so into it. You know, 'cause it looks like if Paper Mario was a horror game and all in black and white. It was incredibly disturbing looking just in its aesthetic alone. And I I got early access into beta testing of chapter 1 and I may have actually got to talked about it before on the podcast, I'm not sure, but chapter 2 released, so I did a playthrough of both chapters and I actually noticed the improvements in chapter 1 from the beta testing, which was good. But basically the story is you live in this world where this benevolent king was all smiles and happy with his entire people loved him, and then out of nowhere there was like one person who didn't, and they frowned, and he went off the deep end and started like now like when people are born they're raised in this environment where they are forced to wear these paper smile masks and to never frown and never be sad, and it's like they're conditioning them, and it's so freaking creepy. And the whole first chapter is you trying to break out of this institution. Like, you know something's wrong, you want to break out. Um, you're being guided by this thing called the Lost Child, which apparently is some kind of god in this universe. You come to find out, but it's kind of like a survival horror. You know, there's no fighting back. You have to use a lot of like stealth tactics because you get given this thing called life. It's not like, the real one, um, but you like equip it and your body kind of glows, and then but if you do that in front of like cameras while you're trying to escape, the cameras will detect you and you'll get caught. So you have to like sit there and equip it and unequip it to try to be stealth about it. But the monsters in it, for being what look like pieces of paper, no, no, they're not right. They're too scary. There's one, of course, in chapter 2 that's a giant spider. I didn't want to deal with that. Um, all in all, though, as a fan of horror, I enjoyed it. It was good. You can run this on, God, you could probably like, it wouldn't
I
surprise
have the
me.
specs.
Yeah, yeah, it's like bad. It's like not very much at all. If you go ahead and feel free to read them.
Yeah, so minimum specs for my beautiful paper smile, Windows 7 64-bit or higher or newer, I should say. 2.5 gigahertz quad core, 4 gigabytes of RAM, a GeForce 470 GTX or AMD Radeon 6870 HD or higher, and 2 gigabytes of available space. In the publishers you mentioned, this game was developed by Two Star Games, published by V Publishing and Vicarious PR, and it's only available on Windows at the moment.
Yes, yeah, because it is still technically early access. It's going to end up being one of those things. I actually, when I was talking to them, they said that they were still debating on whether to do it, like release it episodically, like a lot of games do, or just wait and do the whole thing. Clearly they chose to do it episodically, but what they'll end up doing is once they get all four, I believe they're only going to be four chapters released, then they'll port it over to consoles, kind of like Bendy and the Ink Machine did. A lot of your horror games that come out in chunks like this end up getting released after the game is completed.
Yeah. A quick comment on the art style. I would say the art style looks like Tim Burton decided to do Paper Mario.
It's a very fair assessment. Yeah, it's trippy. Like, I've seen it's really cool. I highly recommend actually following Two Star Games on social media, just like on Twitter, Instagram, whatever, because they actually do developer diaries where they actually show how they do everything in Unreal Engine, I think is the one they use for it. And like, it actually shows you how they go about developing the atmosphere and developing the characters and everything. It's really interesting to watch them develop this game style.
Yeah. So I have a quick question for you. In terms of this game, in the controller scheme, do you think this would be a good game for mobile?
If they had it to where you could do controller, I don't know if you can even use controller on it right now, because like I think I tried, but I ended up not being able to, so I moved to mouse and keyboard. But with it, I mean, almost everything you do. Actually, you know what? Mm-mm. No, because there's a you have to kind of use your movement plus use an actual mouse cursor for certain things. So I don't know if it would port over well until they get it ported to consoles, and then however they decide to do that, then I'm sure it would be easy enough to do on mobile. Like maybe if because you can't control camera angles, so maybe like if you were using a two joystick controller and you use the one to move around and the other you can use to control your cursor, then I don't see why it would be hard. That's probably honestly, if I had to guess, the route they're going to go with it. But I would say, yeah, you can play it on mobile.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Green, what are some of your thoughts and opinions on this?
You wanna play it, Green? You wanna play it? I'll I'll gift it to
Hmm.
you.
No. And then when you said it was like Tim Burton like got a hold of Paper Mario, that gave me even more reason to absolutely hate this game without even like seeing it.
Oh, that's not
Why?
nice.
I gotta hear this.
I
Why?
am I okay, Tim Burton is not good. And I'm going to tell you why. Because he makes things creepy for the sake of being creepy and completely mortifying children at a young age.
Yeah, he's doing God's work.
Yeah, yeah. My mom was fascinated by Nightmare Before Christmas, and I like at such a tender age seeing that, like it mortified me. Like I fucking hated it. I did not like it. It was not a good time, and like ever since, I cannot get behind anything Tim Burton. So that's my reason for Tim Burton.
So no Frankenweenie, no Corpse
Nope,
Bride.
absolutely not.
Wow.
Like,
Horrible.
if it's any
I
consolation,
very
this
much
game is
dislike.
scarier than anything Tim Burton's ever done. So I mean, if that helps.
Even worse. Even worse. Thank you. Thank you, Rev.
um so I just looked it up on Steam. The game regularly sells for $14.99, currently on sale for 10%, $13.49. Excuse me, my dinner decided to fight back on me there a little bit. So yeah, it seems like an interesting game. I don't know if it's really my thing. I watch you play. It's very atmospheric, very creepy. I think this is a game I would enjoy watching, but probably not enjoy playing myself personally.
One of the things that makes it like the creepiest aspect of the whole thing is the fact that it's like the there's no music. There's just noises. Like you just hear the noises of the atmosphere. So there's no like soundtrack or anything. So that makes it like that much like creepier and uh
Is this your best imitation of the game?
that's about the best I could do. It's just like that's the sound effect that I make thinking about it. It's just uh
Oh man. Um Anything else on My Beautiful Paper Smile that we want to talk about?
no,
Who
but I am
hurt
gonna
Rev?
have I'm gonna have a green play it sometime.
Who hurt you, Rev? Who hurt you?
You for not liking
Oh,
cool stuff like rye chips
oh,
and horror
cool
games.
stuff.
Green Elite is a little bit of the black sheep here. He doesn't like horror and he doesn't like rye chips.
Rye
I
chips
bought
are
an
fucking
entire
gross.
I bought an entire bag of just rye chips with the full plan of taking a picture of it, but then I ate it all before I could get a picture.
Were
Like
you
my
impaired in
my
some
little
way?
bowl of
No, I was just driving.
I know that feel. I know that feel. Go ahead, Green.
I was like that. I was just gonna say that bowl of pretzels I took a picture of. Like
Oh
the
yeah, he
gentleman's
said the
or
best. He said this is the best Chex Mix or something like that. Mhm.
Oh boy. Okay. Our next topic here is Rev didn't get a chance to talk about the Guerilla Collective with us last week because he was off. So let's have Rev give his thoughts on the Guerilla Collective and anything else that we talked about last week.
Okay, so on the Guerilla Collective, I had to kind of do a like a run through of it like really fast because of time constraints on things I've been working on this week. But I gotta say, I was impressed. I was impressed with the sheer amount of good looking games coming out of this. A few of them I've actually already played and I've had access to for like months now, like Aeolus Tournament. Yeah, I covered Aeolus Tournament, I think, or talked about it on when I first got on the podcast. But I will say, amongst all of them, there are two that I'm very, very excited for more than any other, and these were revealed on day one. Baldur's Gate 3. I was a huge Baldur's Gate fan in my younger years, and Just Die Already. The Old People Mayhem sandbox. That one, I saw the name and I was like, all right, I'm sold. And I watched the trailer for it, and all I could think is this is gonna be the most fun I think I've had, or that I will have for a long time. But mostly because I like using old people to beat up other old people. Um, Another one that I've known about for a while that I've been excited to try because it's been I saw it on display at God, I think it was PAX South this year. Was the Side Nine Happiness Freak Apocalypse. It's kind of a point and click game, so I think it's gonna be a little bit slower pace, but I've been a Side Nine Happiness fan since high school. Another thing, Later Daters I've covered on the show before. They discussed Chapter 2 is going to be coming very soon. That's something I'm really excited about. I had a few that I was like, I saw them, and honestly, like usually I get really excited anytime indie games come up, but there were a few that were kind of like, eh. And I think Lord Winklebottom Investigates was probably my most like I looked at and was like, what is this? It looked like a murder mystery type game with anthropomorphic animals. Didn't interest me at all. But all in all, I would say it was my favorite event of all of the ones that have popped up recently. If not because I have there's like a little bit bias there because I've actually got to try out some of the games that were announced already. But being the indie fan I was really excited about it. I'm going to be actually doing some communications with some people to possibly see if we can get some reviews on some of these games before they release. So keep an eye out on that because I have some really good. I've been having some really good conversations. But all in all, yeah, I was really impressed with it. I was really, really impressed with it.
Yeah. Did you see any of the gameplay for Midnight Ghost Hunt? Because they did show off some stuff on the first day.
Yeah. I that one kind of passed me by because that was the game you played, right? The one you've talked about before. Yeah.
Well, I don't think I've reviewed it on the show. I know I've been wanting to talk about it. And I can. I have alpha access, and I actually gave you a key for that alpha access too, Rev. A while ago.
When I tried to redeem it, it said that it was closed. It wouldn't let me in because I wanted to try it out with you. But yeah, I saw the gameplay footage on it, and I was I'm looking forward to trying it out as well. You know, kind of essentially like hide and seek Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I wanted to try that before I saw the gameplay because of you.
Yeah. Well, and then there was another one I saw that I kind of thought about you. It was the Dungeon Boyfriend, I think. That's like where you date your weapons, where it's like this sword turns into a handsome young man. I'm gonna now ask this handsome young man questions until he wants to bone with me.
Yeah, that one's probably going to be on my radar. The only thing I'm waiting to find out on that is when it does release, is it going to be done episodically or full game? Because like I hate getting excited about games that might be released episodically now because like I've had so many that I've wanted to get into, and then I get to the end of it. It's like, oh, you just finished chapter 1, chapter 2 coming soon. That's the way Later Daters was, and so like I'm reserving my excitement for it until I get it confirmed whether or not it's going to be like the full game or if they're going to do episodes. I mean, if they do the full game, like is it going to be like Colonel Sanders where it's only like a 2-hour playthrough? But I that one I saw, now I was intrigued by it, but I'm reserving my excitement on that one for now.
Yeah. Green, did you want to mention anything from last week?
No,
is it anything?
I don't think I think everything you got everything that I was interested with that, especially the Midnight Ghost Hunt.
Yeah,
excited for that.
Yeah, what I've played of it is very fun. That's one. Again, it's like really good with friends. Like, but that is actually one that I can play. I think I'd be able to play without friends. One I could probably go in and join random games and be just fine with it because, there's a bit of strategy to it. There's a bit of, getting better, understanding the maps, understanding how all the different like ghosts and different hunters work and stuff like that. It's all pretty cool. Cool. Anything else on the Guerilla Collective?
No. I like I said, there are a lot of them. I'm just kind of waiting to see how things play out before I get too excited about it.
Awesome. Looking at the time here, I think we could probably take a break. You guys cool with that?
Break it on down.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a 2-minute break, guys. Stay right there. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Matthias Carnero, host of the Controller Disconnected podcast. It's a little show I make by myself where I talk about whatever games I've been playing recently and other subjects related to games as well. Sometimes I even do movie reviews just to shake things up. If you enjoy listening to my weird accent, episodes are released every week wherever podcasts are sold. Well, actually, podcasts are free, but you know what I mean.
All right, and we are back. Thank you guys for letting us take that break. We have more news and things to discuss because of, EA, or I'm sorry, not EA, E3 just doesn't exist this year. So everyone has kind of been doing their own things. We've been having all sorts of different events. One such event from one of the biggest publishers in the fucking game, EA Play 2020. Again, I would like to remind anyone who might be watching on YouTube, or if you're listening on any podcast platform of your choice, reach out to us and let us know the answer to this question. Which of the announcements from EA Play 2020 got you the most excited? So go on ahead and let us know in the comments, or reach out, tweet out to us, or let us know in the live chat as well. Did you guys watch the EA Play 2020?
I actually didn't watch it. I caught some of the highlights from and heard some of the news from our former guest Viva Pinata, because he was all in on that.
Yeah. How about you, Green? Did you end up watching it?
I got mad. I was going to, but then I heard that they did not make any announcements for a new Battlefield, and I've been wanting a new Battlefield. So I kind of just boycotted it, but I heard some good things.
Gotcha. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, it was a little weird that they didn't make a new Battlefield announcement, but especially because Battlefield 5, they're slowing down the content they're putting out for that. So I think
As they should.
As they... So I think the biggest announcement for me and Green, at least, was Apex Legends is coming to Switch and will be cross-platform. And a new event that starts actually today called Lost Treasure. So, Switch players, prepare to get wrecked.
I don't know why, but I hate whenever games become cross-platform with Switch, because it seems like every time you get, if you don't have a full squad and you get paired up with somebody that's on a Switch, you're screwed.
They're trash.
I hate it.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Can't wait to go in and just unleash unholy hellfire on a full team of Switch players. And just dominate them and be like, go cry, kid.
It's coming to
I'm a horrible
Steam,
person.
Right? Did I hear that right? That Apex was going to end up on Steam?
I know that they are moving some EA games to Steam. I don't know if Apex is among them.
I don't think they would.
I'm not sure. Here's just what I'm waiting for. It's gonna be like me and Green in a fucking party together, and we get paired with some Switch kid, and we die, and we're yelling at the Switch kid, and then we just hear Padre's voice, be like, "Wait, Padre, have you said your kid's name on the podcast or on your streams?"
Oh yeah, people know my kids' names.
Okay, cool. It's just like, Aiden, what are you doing? In the background of this, as we're just swearing at your kid because we got paired up with him. Someone in chat just said, Lou, actually, shout out to Lou, just said Apex is coming to Steam. So
Yeah,
that is
I actually
confirmed.
just shared the Steam page in your in the chat. Not yeah, it's coming to Steam.
So yeah, it is coming to Steam. So I'm trying. Is there going to be like a connect the accounts? Because I don't want to lose my shit.
I guarantee it's like you download it on Steam and then it just routes you to Origin.
It just
pop-up
launches Origin again.
It's exactly what's gonna fucking happen. I can see it now, which is gonna be stupid as fuck. If EA could do something so stupid, they fucking would, and that would be it. They'd launch it. You'd be like, oh, I'm gonna download this on Steam. I love Steam. Download Origin. Oh, okay. Download Origin. Every time you fucking launch it from Steam, Origin pops up. I guarantee that's what's gonna happen.
It's like how if I want to play GTA 5, I either have to. This is actually one of my biggest annoyances right now when I want to play GTA 5 is I have Rockstar right on my desktop, so I usually just open up Rockstar and then it says play on Epic. So I'll hit that, and then it has to open up Epic. But if I do it the other way around, if I go to play it on Epic, it's gonna open up Rockstar. Just I'm like, why do I have to launch both of these fucking launchers?
Apparently, according to a dev, it will launch directly with Steam without running Origin. That's according to one of the Respawn developers.
Okay. I don't understand though. That's interesting because I think that's one of EA's like biggest sellers right now. That's one of EA's biggest movers is Apex.
Maybe they heard our cries about how Origin sucks. Hopefully
Apex coming to Steam now with 5 times more loot boxes. And you can trade them.
Yeah. Another game that was announced was Star Wars Squadrons, which will be coming to consoles and Windows PCs with a planned release date of October 2nd at around $40 USD. Did this move anything for you guys? This get you a little aroused? Maybe a little chubby?
I love Star Wars. I'm gonna keep an eye out on this. I don't know for sure if it's gonna be a game that I actually enjoy. Just because I'm not like a huge, like plane simulator racing, those style of games. But with it being Star Wars and with it being, actually like fighting other people in ships and shit, I'm keeping an eye out on this one.
I'm really excited. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. That's one of my biggest gripes about Battlefront 2, like the new one, well, newish, is that in Battlefront 2 2005, you could actually have space fights and shit in ships, and they took that away. And that was like one of my favorite parts of Battlefront 2 2005.
Yeah, I remember Battlefront 2 2005, like the space maps, you would hop into like an X-Wing and then like land in an enemy ship and like wreak havoc on the enemy ship until you died, and then you'd have to do the same thing over again, or you'd have to do like all the dogfighting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Around what are they, the Star Destroyers?
Star Destroyers and then the Rebel ships.
I know my Star Wars.
I knew my Star Warses. My Star Treks.
Did anybody else do the cheap move with the Millennium Falcon in the first one, where you would you'd see the Slave One coming and you would just right last second turn on your deflector shield, bam, run through and blow them up, easy cheese. It was oh god, I got so many hate messages. So many because they're just like, "You son of a bitch." And I'm like, "Get good."
My experience playing Battlefront 2 2005 was entirely birthday parties and sleepovers where we were just a bunch of kids hopped up on way too much fucking Mountain Dew. Yeah, that was my experience playing Battlefront 2. Of course, I never had a PlayStation 2 or an Xbox 360 as a kid, so that was all it was for me, was the going over to a friend's house and enjoying it there. And then another game that was announced is a new Skate game. So I saw some articles. Technically not Skate 4. They just said Skate. So, you know, if you're out there calling it Skate 4, you're wrong. Much to the joy of fans, because EA said directly that they're only making it because fans wanted it and were asking for it for fucking ever. I've never played Skate, so I don't know. Did this one like get your nipples hard at all, guys?
I mean, I'm gonna try it out because I've heard so much about Skate. I always played the Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, and then after it went to Tony Hawk Underground, I stopped playing them altogether and stopped playing skateboard games. But I'm interested in trying it out myself.
Tony Hawk Underground 2 was the best one.
It may have been the best Underground, but it wasn't the game. It wasn't the best game.
It was the best Tony Hawk game. You can fight me on this all you want. It's my favorite.
Fight,
it's the best.
Fight.
I've come to terms with Green being able to have his wrong opinions. It's fine.
Hold on, you were very crackly and distorted there. What'd you say?
Can you hear me better now?
Not at all.
I'll be right back with you.
Okay. So was there anything else during EA Play 2020 that you noticed, Green? Anything that you wanted to talk about? Like, there wasn't much for me that got me. I mean, the Apex news was the biggest for me. I saw a lot of hype around the other things. What's that?
He's wrong. He's entitled to his wrong opinion.
I'm right, and I'm always right. Always. Stand by my convictions.
I don't know. Your fiance doesn't say that.
True.
Yeah, so anything else on EA Play 2020?
Why not a Battlefield game? Like,
because they realized they couldn't compete with Call of Duty anymore.
I'm surprised
they could if they. Go ahead.
I'm just surprised that we didn't see anything from Anthem, right? Because Anthem has been such a huge fucking failure. They've been trying to breathe life into fucking Anthem. I'm actually a little surprised that there wasn't announcements trying to get people back into Anthem.
Well, I don't think they're going to make any announcements until they actually get the full. Like they're saying that they're essentially reworking the whole game, and doing it as a full update. So that's going to take some time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't foresee that popping up until maybe next year, maybe the year after that. But by that time, you're going to say, "What about Anthem?" And they're like, "What? What's that game?" Yeah, that's how long it's gonna take. They'll have to re-release it as a new game, with trailers and shit.
This is gonna be like an Anthem 2.0.
They're gonna rename it Anthems.
Yeah, Anthems. Cool. So I think the next thing that we should talk about is the Apple Worldwide Developers Conference. Woo!
So excited.
Woo! I know this isn't one of those things that we usually. It's it's not one of those things that is like directly related to gaming. I understand that, but last year they announced Apple Arcade, and there's some other things here that I think are definitely worth mentioning. So just like on the surface, for anyone who has an iPhone like I do, some cool changes are coming to iOS. But these are also changes that Android already had, like widgets and screen in, screen media. Oh, you keep waving your hands like that, Green.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Welcome to 2017, Nanny.
So the biggest announcement was that Mac computer systems are now going to begin a transition from Intel silicon to Apple's own proprietary ARM silicon. I'm not going to get like super techy with it because I am definitely not qualified to talk on that. Go check out Linus Tech Tips or Marquis Brownlee for information on that. They have much better videos and discussions on that. So the first ARM-based Mac devices will come out later this year, and Apple is going to do a 2-year transition from Intel processor devices to the ARM processor devices. So for about a 2-year period here, you're going to be able to have a choice between what processors you have in your Mac devices. So why is this a big deal? There's a lot of reasons, but the main one I'm going to focus on is this change is going to allow apps that are native to iOS and iPadOS to also work on Macs, which is where this gaming conversation is going to go, because this is going to include a lot of software like Adobe software, Photoshop Express, Premiere, drawing software for the iPad is going to be native now, or be able to be native on Mac devices, but it's also going to include games like Fortnite, Call of Duty Mobile, Mario Kart World Tour, even ports for games that are on iOS like Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 4, which I have both the ports for those for iOS. I'm sorry, I just kind of got lost in my notes there, but and even for apps that aren't going to automatically be based in ARM, and they've been talking about how app developers like Adobe and everyone else, all these other larger app developers are already getting their software ready for this, or are already ready for this. The apps that aren't, there's actually going to be a built-in emulation for apps that aren't built for this system yet, and it's called Rosetta 2. So everything should work on these ARM-based Macs basically right away, which is pretty awesome. There was one other thing I saw, and kind of take this with a grain of salt because I haven't seen anyone else talk about this. I heard this from the video Max Tech put out. They said this would also mean controller support. So if you're looking for, for more gaming stuff related to Mac hardware now, you could also do that. So my basic opinion is I'm not suggesting you should buy an Apple product just for the gaming capabilities. But if for whatever reason you are looking on your own and you think a Mac might be good for you for a variety of reasons, right? People buy Macs for a variety of reasons, from photo editing to video editing to, running their word processors and doing accounting. There's a lot of reasons people buy Macs over PCs. If you're looking at buying a Mac over a PC, I would say this is at least one mark in the column. This is one positive in the column. It wouldn't be a huge sell for me personally, but it's there. And I think that's worth mentioning, at least to somebody who might be considering, a Mac in place of a PC. But what do you guys think?
Wash your mouth out.
Look, I use Apple products. But I also know what they're good for.
You said the dirtiest thing.
What's that?
You need to wash your mouth out.
Oh yeah.
You said if you're considering buying a Mac over a PC, go wash your mouth out. Shame on you.
Wow. Okay. Hey, do you want to remember? Do you want to remember who has control here? I got buttons. I got buttons, bud.
I'll go wash my mouth out now.
That's right. Remember who Daddy is.
Please, God, son.
It's actually Daddy is Rev. He has a hat that says it. So I mean, what are your guys' general opinions on this? Green, we'll start with you.
I have no opinion. I mean, it's good for
talk.
It's good for Apple. It's it's good for Apple. It's good for Apple. I mean, it's anytime you can stray away from Intel a little bit, that's pretty cool. I like that they can actually switch. They're attempting to, make it more user friendly, because that's really what Apple's been all about this whole time, is making it more user friendly. Everything is simple, plain, elegant. They're trying to tighten the transition, which I that's my favorite part about Apple, is that the way that they have everything. I don't know the word for it.
Everything plays together and meshes.
Yeah, it flows together very well.
It's a lot like, I mean, this is going to probably be in the weeds for a lot of people, but it's like Adobe products. It's, if you're working on an Adobe product or project, if you're doing Premiere, you can integrate that with Audition seamlessly. You can integrate that with After Effects. You can integrate it with Photoshop. You can do, you can do some video editing in Audition and then export it to Premiere. All these things play together. And Apple's the very similar, where your not your iWatch, your Apple Watch, your iPhone, your iPad, in your Mac, in your Apple TV, they all can integrate and keep, the same preferences, and they can have the same apps that are all like work together, and they can all mesh well. And I think this is just another really awesome step towards, a complete computing and home system. I think that works out pretty well for a lot of people. I can understand why that's attractive.
Yeah, McKenna's uni, it's all Apple product. I got her an iPad Pro, and she's got a MacBook, and everything just like she can send her homework from her Mac to her iPhone or iPad. They do a lot of airdropping where they're in the same room. They send it from Mac to Mac, like if they're working on a big project together. So I mean, the connectivity is really nice. But other than that, I just don't like. It's like the Gucci, the Gucci of the tech world. Like you can live in some Wrangler jeans. Do you really need the Gucci jeans?
Yeah. You definitely pay for that logo a lot. Especially because when you're looking at the actual hardware inside of a Mac, and it's like, an Intel i3? Why am I paying $1,000 for an Intel i3?
And it's usually like a past gen too.
Yeah, it's usually like a
tech.
Yeah, it's usually like a gen behind. Rev, what are you thinking?
I'm kind of like in the same boat as Green. Like I haven't had an Apple product since the 3GS, I think. But it is cool to see that they're trying to branch out. And I just hope that this doesn't become one of those things like, oh, we got our new own silicon, so we're gonna up the price by another $150 on everything, or because
they could.
They could. But all in all, yeah, I mean, it's not gonna really sway me one way or another, just because I've been an Android guy for a long time. But I'm also like on board with the get away from Intel thing, because but it's kind of ironic because like Intel is the Apple of the processor world. It's you're like paying extra for the logo. So it's like they're like, you know what?
Absolutely.
You're not going to pay extra for the Intel logo. You're going to pay a lot more extra for ours. So it's like I don't know. But we'll see. I would like to say I would like to see if they're going to have their own stuff and not import it in from Intel. That maybe it does go down in price instead of up. We'll see. Doubt it, but you never know until it happens.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where performances are going to go and where thermal, and where thermal caps are, because anyone who's had a MacBook Air on their lap knows it gets hot pretty quick. When
It goes from an Apple Air or an Air to an I need Air.
Yeah, when it's sitting on your lap, I call it sperm killer. Your boys get a little hot.
It's like throw it in a cold pool and you got a hot tub.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm very curious.
Forever.
Yeah, which I'm very curious to see where thermal caps go. If these things are going to run hotter or cooler than Intel processors, that's going to be.
And another thing, I mean, even if the price doesn't go down, maybe they can get their proprietary stuff up to being like on par with the current gen. Like maybe they can keep the same cost while improving performance based on the fact that instead of being a generation behind, they could be kind of up to snuff with more current processors.
Yeah. One thing I should mention while I'm thinking about it was that they were showing off, I think they called it Parallels, I think, where they were showing off running some Linux on it. So they're at least putting some capabilities to run Boot Camp and whatever else other softwares and OSs on it, which that's a good step in the right direction. The changes to the Mac OS are taking several steps closer to the iPad OS. So the iPad OS and the Mac OS are getting more interlinked and closer together, which do with that what you want. I have a iPad Mini 3. It currently has the iPad OS on it. It works all right. It's fine. I'm actually looking forward to the iOS updates because finally fucking widgets. It's so annoying to have. I just want to have the weather right there on the home screen. Literally, that's all the only widget I want is I just want that right there in the corner. It shouldn't have, it's current year. I shouldn't have to wait for that. Go ahead, Green.
Notes. Samsung's had that for forever. Ever. What I'm saying is I used to have iPhone. Like it was the iPhone 6 Plus. I had it for a week. And then I'm like, no, I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna switch to the Note 4. Never look back. Love that Note 4.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite phone so far. Like I have the 10, Note 10 right now. And like I like it. I love it. But the Note 4 is special. I love that phone. It's the first time I felt liberated with my cell phone. Essentially liberated. Essentially.
I almost went with the Pixel when I went to buy this phone. I almost went with the Pixel, and then the guy, this person who sold it to me actually talked me out of it.
Suckered you into it.
Well, he was even he was like a Samsung rep for that store too. Yeah, of all the
Traitor.
people, of all the people to convince me not to buy an iPhone, he was the one.
Shame on him. I hope he's not selling Samsungs anymore.
Yeah, so anything else on the Worldwide Developers Conference?
Not unless you have something else on it.
No, that was it. I mean, it's not like they did like another whole release for Apple Arcade or anything like that, which I'm that's still kind of meh. I think it's a good option for families because it's cheap and it's fairly well curated, but it's nothing, anyone here would probably be interested in. Cool. Well, we did get some leaks on some hardware that's coming up, and it might, it's good to at least keep in mind if you're in the market for building a new PC like me. So I'm gonna let Mr. Green Elite take over here.
It's still not a good time. Like it's an okay time since they're starting to announce new stuff and rolling it out in the next few months that they're gonna be making these things. But right now with the whole COVID thing, like everything is sold out. It's so hard. Like I'm trying to piece together a stream PC. It's so difficult to find parts.
Yeah, that's
I
been the
bought
big thing.
I bought the last B450, the last B450M from Asus on Amazon until the restock in like a month. So it's tough.
Yeah, it is. I've mostly just been researching and like piecing things together. But these Nvidia leaks, let's go on ahead.
Yeah, Nvidia leaks. Okay. So of course they're gonna drop the 3000 series soon. Or at least announce it. They're for sure releasing the 3080 Ti. The biggest rumored thing I think is the 3080 Ti is saying they're gonna be pushing out 21 teraflops of pure god power, which I will see. I think the current one runs like 11 teraflops, 12 somewhere around there, non overclocked. The biggest thing with these rumors is these are just the founder edition, like straight from Nvidia. Let's see here. They're also talking about a possible surprise GPU with the 3090, which I don't know exactly what's going to go on with that. The base 3080 is supposed to be running at like a 10 gig versus the current 2080 is 8. So right there is just a marginal increase in what you're getting for how much you're paying for.
Yeah. Can I just say real quick? I think the surprise is going
yeah.
to be a cream filling.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
bad
nasty.
joke.
That's nasty. And then I know for sure they're gonna be running. Well, the leaked rumor is PCIe Gen 4, same as the RDNA. The last 5700X or 5000, yeah, X. Did they call that a 50 XT? Yeah, that's right. That one's running on PCIe Gen 4, so it was inevitable. I mean, it's just Intel's late. You're muted, Chief.
It's because I'm just lip syncing the word inevitable, like Kim Jong Il did in the movie Team America: World Police.
Inevitable.
Lulzies. Yeah. I mean, anything else on this? I mean, it's definitely something to look out for and look, see when the actual
Apparently
announcements come
dropping a
out.
Titan.
What's that?
Yeah, they're apparently gonna drop a Titan too, like same day announcement. Which it's something to keep an eye out for sure. Because normally when they have the announcement for a new series, like the same day, the previous cards will start like going down. I mean, like first week they maybe a few pennies, but within like a month they're usually $20 to $50 cheaper, and then a month later they're cheaper still. So it's going to be interesting to see how that goes right now, because right now as it is, the 20 series are pretty expensive for what they are. So it'll be interesting to see once they actually announce these things.
Yeah, especially I mean, as you mentioned, I mean, we're kind of seeing a scarcity right now.
Yeah. And that's another thing with pricing. Like, how expensive is it going to be right off the bat? Just because the production is still limited and shipping is still limited from COVID.
Yeah.
Especially if there's another resurgence of COVID.
Yeah. Anything else that we want to talk about here?
No.
I have one question that maybe Green can answer because, as most of y'all know, I'm still pretty new when it comes to the whole PC thing. So in the series, what is the 70, the 80, the 90? What does that even represent? Is that just a model
Uh,
number or
it yeah, it's essentially a model number for the designation for the level of card. So like usually the budget, like the lower end cards are the 50 series.
Mhm.
And then the next up is the 60. Like usually the 50s are like maybe 3 gigs of VRAM on it. Like the basic, the cheap, like it can run some games on low settings if you're lucky. Um, and then 60 usually doubles that up to 6 gigs of VRAM. And then the 70s and 80s usually are eight to however many. Like the 2080 the Ti bumped it up to 11 gigs of VRAM. So it's more processing power per like unit. And then the biggest difference with the TIs are more CUDA cores and more like out the box overclocking. Like the base overclock, the base clock is faster. Uh, Same with like like the difference between the 2080 Super and the 2080 Ti is mainly it's more VRAM and more uh, overclocking.
so we're just looking at like if they do a 3090, it's just going to be like something we've never seen before.
Yeah, there's never been a 90 series.
Okay.
But a lot of people have been speculating that that's not even going to be a gaming GPU. It's going to be more for like um, video editing and AI processing than it is for like actually playing a game. Which I
Okay.
can see there's cards right now that are from Nvidia that they're better than the Titan cards, but you wouldn't play games on them because they're essentially just for AI. It's like a second computer within a computer.
Yeah, they use that stuff for like CAD and movie production and
Mhm.
AI and doing
Expensive.
and doing like modeling for like complex, weather and shit like that. Um, yeah, because I was talking to one of my coworkers. She has a son that's like taking an engineering class, and so she built him. She's like, so what's the difference between like these? Like, what are all these parts? I'm like, oh, they're just having you build a gaming PC. She goes, really? I'm like, yeah, because you have to have like you have to have a graphics processor to run a CAD software. She goes, so does that mean if I build them this, I don't have to get him an Xbox? I'm like, I mean, that's your choice. You can tell him that he got a nice computer. He can play COD on that.
I had a guy when I was playing PlayStation, when I was still on PlayStation playing Destiny 2. He was in my clan. He was like, "Well, I'm gonna be leaving soon to go play it on PC." And I'm like, "Oh, what's your specs?" And he just started talking out of his ass. He was like, "Yeah, I spent $7,000 on this GPU, and it was one of the architect AI GPUs. Can't remember which one it was." I'm like, "Are you sure? You sure you're gonna be playing with that?" It's like, "Yep, damn straight." I'm like, that's for like like processing, not like video games, right?" I was like, "No, it's not." Yeah, yeah. And then he like left. So
Yeah, so do your research on your PC parts and watch the
yeah.
trades. Do we know when we should see an announcement from Nvidia on the next series?
I don't know for sure. I think they were saying within 2 months.
Okay.
Um, Let me double check here. Uh, yeah, everything I've read from. Hopefully, we don't have to wait too much longer. But it's
Excellent.
not like an estimated time. Usually, I think usually late July is usually when they announce it because they compete with AMD on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um cool. Anything else that we need to talk about there? We good?
Want to build a PC?
I'm working on it.
Want to You want to buy me a 3080 Ti?
Nope.
Daddy.
So the last thing we should probably talk about is Mixer. Not like again, we don't really talk much about like streaming and stuff like that outside of what we're doing, but this is at least worth mentioning and talking about a little bit. So Microsoft decided they're going to shut down Mixer, and they are integrating their live streaming services with Facebook Gaming. Of course, Mixer being the place that Ninja was poached for a $30 million contract. And
Shroud.
Yeah. Let's see. Ninja was
Big
offered
names.
a $30 million contract, and he accepted that. And then Shroud, $10 million, from which I understand they are walking away with that money. And I had also heard rumors they were offered double the contracts by Facebook Gaming.
Yep. Heard those same rumors floating around.
So if those rumors are true, I just want to just real quick, I wish I had the self-confidence and the financial stability to just say, nah, I don't need that 60 mil on top of the 30 mil I already have.
Yeah, they forced Mixer to buy out their contract so that and not go over to Facebook. Like that in and of itself speaks volumes to people's, trust in what Facebook Gaming has to offer.
Yeah.
AKA nothing.
At least not much.
Well, there's a few Facebook gamers that just swear by it, but I don't know. I don't like the fact that anyone like their personal profile is on there. Like I'd rather have like that sense of animosity.
Animosity or
And, like,
anonymity?
Same thing.
Anonymity, whatever. I don't know, whatever. You don't quote me here.
I mean, Facebook is a place of animosity.
You're not wrong.
Anonymity.
Well, and honestly, I think that plays a lot into it because Mixer was kind of shrouded in that recent controversy, and the timing just ended up being really crap. But you throw that on top of it's like, oh, well, I mean, you're having these issues. Wait till you see what's next. It's like we're gonna throw you over to Facebook where it's probably 20 times worse. Plus, your personal profile is being shared.
Yeah,
nah, that ain't it.
Yeah, no, so in terms of like the money people spent on there, I think from what I've heard, what I got this little tidbit from Bellular News. They said that like if you have subs or money that's like on an account on Mixer, you're going to get Xbox Live credits, which is, they don't have to do that, but it's also just kind of like meh. It would have been, cool if they just, maybe refunded any cash that you had. If you had, what is their equivalent of bits or subscriptions?
Embers?
Embers were their bits, I want to say, and then Sparks were like their like channel point based things.
Yeah.
Kind of system. So
I
think they had just subs.
Yeah. I'm like, I would have just rather seen them refund that back to your card or your PayPal.
I'm more worried about the actual like the full-time like the partners and streamers. Like they practically just got told that they don't have a job anymore.
Yeah, a lot of them are pretty upset about it. I'm close with a lot of Mixer streamers, and it is. I mean, I will say that I've been kind of checking in on them on their first streams over on Twitch, or if they had went over to Mixer, their first streams back, and a lot of them seem to be doing really well. One of the things that sucks, I think, for one particular community is the high res community, like Paladins and Realm Royale and all them, because they had like a kind of a thing, like a thing with Mixer. You get watch points by linking your Mixer account, unlock certain stuff. So seeing them kind of get left in the dust sucks, but a lot of them are doing pretty well and their communities are following them. It's a lot of them see it as kind of a bump in the road, but there are some people that have had real bad potholes in this whole situation because they were banned on Twitch for something that they weren't able to appeal all like a long time ago, and then now it's like they're still banned on Twitch. So what are they supposed to do? And there have been cases where it's like back when it was one of those deals where it wasn't a oh, what's the word? It wasn't like a looked into, they wouldn't even let them appeal it or something like that. It was like an auto ban that stuck. And so those people I feel really bad for. There's not a whole ton of them, but there's enough of them for it to, to feel bummed out about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be one of those things. We're going to see some ripples for weeks and months. I don't know if, because there was kind of a point where people went to Mixer because they didn't want to be on Twitch, and I completely understand not wanting to be on Twitch. I mean, for a variety of reasons. I mean, we can dance around like the current stuff that's happening right now, but I mean, since I've been on Twitch for 2 years, I mean, it's just been controversy after controversy of Twitch not enforcing their own rules, of just toxic, inability to, deal with toxicity on the platform, not providing tools, not providing like great updates for folks, stuff like that. And so I understand like a lot of people who left Twitch to go be on Mixer because it was kind of a fresh start, and I know some people who did that. Yeah, so we're gonna see the ripples. I honestly don't think that we're gonna see like a huge effect on Twitch.
I have to giggle a little bit though.
Why is that?
Because Microsoft did a flex move, like a huge gamble, paying Shroud, Cathalion, and Ninja to come over to Mixer just to essentially fold in 6 months with Facebook. They did all that just to try to get those communities to come over, and Facebook was still outdoing them in terms of growth, which is saying something. I did never really cared for Mixer, but
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things just with, I mean, the executive, and then like I said, Twitch, I mean, has its own issues right now. I think a lot, personally, and this is just like if anyone from Mixer just came up on the show, I would probably go to YouTube Gaming personally. If I were in there, if I were in your
YouTube,
shoes,
though, too.
What's that?
There's a lot. It's tough on any platform, really, but YouTube is tough because there's a lot of broadcasters.
Yeah.
On YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just, it sucks. And I mean, if I can offer any advice for anyone in media, it's never put your eggs in one basket, and always diversify your revenue streams. If you can make ads, make ads. If you can get subs, do your best to get subs. Sell merch. Get affiliate links. Like Rev has his YouTube, not YouTube, I'm sorry, the Epic Creator Code. Humble Bundle. Get Amazon. I mean, get your Amazon affiliate links.
I have none of those. I'm horrible.
It's okay. Which technically, hey Rev, what's your Epic?
Hey.
If you decide to purchase anything through the Epic Store, whether it be V-Bucks or whatever that shit on Dauntless is called, or any other games, feel free to use supporter creator code REVSVEN, REVSVEN. Thank you.
Yeah, and then we are Humble Bundle affiliates, the show is, so if you guys are interested in purchasing anything on Humble Bundle, I don't have a link right now, but if you guys send me a message, and this is going to be like, if you guys really want to support the show, send me a message, I'll provide you an affiliate link, because I just don't have one on hand, and Humble Bundle doesn't have like put a code in, so but yeah, I mean, honestly, diversify your content and diversify your revenue streams. Yeah, it's shit stuff. But like I said, I don't think we're gonna see too many people come from Mixer over to to Twitch. I think they're going to go over to YouTube because a part of the appeal of Mixer was that it was not Twitch.
Yeah, I think like personal opinion, the way it's going to go is you're going to see like a lot of the biggest ones move over to other platforms, but like all the ones that it's just like they've met a lot of people within the Twitch community, so like people like our sizes, like our size streamers are going to come
The
over to Twitch
hobbyists.
just because it's it's like the easier move to make. All these other big ones, they're free agents now. You may see exclusive contracts being signed. It may just be whoever offers the biggest money.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
I'm curious to see if Twitch is going to offer Ninja a contract.
That's the one. That's the one I'm watching because that was the one that went down in flames when it happened.
Yeah.
Like the Shroud one, they flipped a 180 with the way they handled the Shroud one. They put out the thanks for the memories, beautiful highlight video, so nice, so sweet. They're like, that was essentially them going, "We effed up. We're sorry."
Yeah.
It's sorry.
We're gonna show porn on the largest largest streamer on the fucking platforms channel. Have fun. Also, fuck you. We're gonna remove your subscription right after your subscription button right after you set and made the announcement. Yeah.
I wonder which exec was so butthurt about Ninja leaving that they didn't approve that. I wonder which one was like, yeah, fuck that guy. Pornography is shit.
To be fair, it wasn't necessarily their fault because they weren't the ones broadcasting the porn, but they should have caught the porn faster than they did.
It was the biggest channel,
well, because it was an auto host situation, right? That was
great.
He had some sort of auto host on, and the person had their own the person who he auto hosted had his account. It was something weird like that. It was like a weird series of events that should just have never happened, if I remember correctly. Go ahead.
It was very coincidental too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone just said Lou just said it was in the recommended feed. Okay. Yeah, it was some weird situation but it still shouldn't have happened. Like they should have caught the porn pretty fucking quick. Of course, we all know that Twitch staff aren't exactly the quickest when it comes to taking down content anyways. Like pirated feeds of the Logan Paul fight.
Or Filipino radio stations, or the UFC fights. That was my favorite one. I'm sorry, I don't support pirating in any stretch. Like I don't even like Sea of Thieves, but whenever they did that, where they played the UFC fights, and the guy was streaming under the EA UFC 3 category and just sitting there with on screen with a controller with the real fights playing, looking like he was playing the video game. That was an IQ 200 move until he got caught.
That is fucking brilliant. I have never heard that story. That's fucking awesome.
I'll be sharing articles. It was the most sublime thing. This happened back before I even knew what Twitch was, so it's been a few years. But yeah, he streamed under the EA UFC video game directory and just had the fights playing behind him, sitting there on his screen like he normally would with a controller in his hand. Made it through the whole pay-per-view before they got him taken down.
That's big. That is big brain moves. Big brain moves. I need to meet that man. Anything else on Mixer? And I mean, shit's a shit show everywhere.
Everything's a shit show right now.
We are on the worst timeline.
I want to redo.
We went to roll for initiation on January 1st and rolled an effing 1.
Yeah. Well, this is apparently this DM is apparently not merciful at all. Okay. So
God damn it, Decay.
What?
I'm blaming it on Decay.
Are you referencing our D&D Halloween special?
Kill everything, no mercy. Make the final monster fucking invincible.
Okay,
I blame
so
them for everything.
I just have to explain what Green Elite is talking
Please.
about here. So last October I ran a Dungeons and Dragons Halloween special. And it was zombie based. Well, every time they killed a zombie, I would add 10 hit points to the final monster that they had to fight. And Decay, my friend Decay, was playing a paladin, and so he was just going through murking every single fucking zombie he saw. There was not a fight he turned down, and it ended up adding something like 80, 90 hit points to this final monster that started out with 200 hit points. And Green Elite was a new player.
Yeah, it was my first time ever, and I asked at the first fight, should we go around this? Should we just circumvent this? And DK was like, nope, let's go.
Full send.
Full
Okay.
send. Anyway, sorry for the tangent.
No, it's all good. Yeah, no, when I DM, I am not merciful. You're gonna learn the hard way. Okay, cool. Let's wrap up the show. Green Elite, what's coming up on your channel?
Nothing. With the flood, I am still waiting on a power cord for my monitor. Hopefully my monitor is not broken. If it is, I have to wait until my new monitor comes in. I'll know on Thursday, and Thursday I'll do like arranging to get my station in a safe space. So maybe Friday I'll get on and play some games. I'm not sure. But until then, you can catch me. You can drop a follow if you want to on twitch.tv/Mr. Green Elite. Or you can check me out on my Twitter, Instagram. I also have another Twitter account, which is pretty cool. It's called @IroWisdom, where I do a daily motivation thing. I'm trying to get it off the ground. I want it to get off the ground. I love it. It's so much fun.
Excellent. So go follow Green Elite at all those places. Revsfen, what's coming up on your channel?
Nothing as well. Going to avoid getting political, but until some things are, at least some steps are taken, I'm not streaming. I'll be still posting on my socials, and I will still be active in Discord, which you can find me on any social platform at RevSpin TV. And if you want to wait till I get back, you can follow me on Twitch at RevSpin.
Excellent. On my channel, I'm not really sure what I'll be doing for the rest of the week. I don't know. I've been really enjoying just playing Fallout, so we might get a lot of extra Fallout streams. If I do play, like I didn't stream last night because I've been incredibly anxious and irritable. So we'll kind of see. I'm kind of taking in with my internet issue. I've kind of been taking everything as a day-by-day basis. But of course, drop me a follow. I'll probably stream Friday. I probably won't be streaming tomorrow because I gotta get groceries and live like an adult for a little bit. But yeah, you guys can also find me on Instagram and Twitter at DannyK, DANIECAE. You can also find me on YouTube, Danny K Media. That's also where you can find past episodes of the podcast. It's right there for you to enjoy. Which I think that's actually going to wrap up the show. So if you guys missed any part of the show, feel free to head on over there a little later on and get it there. We appreciate all of you for watching and listening and taking the time to join us. Really, it means so much to us that you guys even take the time to watch and listen to the show. Before we go, I just wanted to give another shout out to Lou Merck. He's the guy who gives us the beats that you guys heard during the breaks and during the intro of the show. Make sure you guys check him out. Links are in the chat right now. They're also in the description of this episode. If you guys like what we saw here, support the show in a couple of ways. The best number one way to do that is by telling your friends about us. You can also give us a rating and a review on the podcast platform of your choice. Again, if you guys missed any part of the show, you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and everywhere podcasts are found. Of course, you guys can join us live every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time on Twitch. We might be an hour late next week to accommodate our guests again. We do have 2 guests next week. That is the gentleman over at the Game Deflators. So join us in welcoming those guys. I can't think of anything else. No, actually, we'll hold off on this. We'll talk to you guys again next week. Have a wonderful rest of your week. And remember, we need to arrest the cops that killed Breonna Taylor. Have a wonderful evening, guys.
Love you.